Good afternoon, Dr. Shannon and class. Today I would like to introduce you to a man who I believe is a great leader and someone who many most likely have never heard of. This man is known as the most decorated United States Army soldier of World War II, and his name is Audie Leon Murphy. The objective of this brief is for each listener to understand why I believe Audie Leon Murphy is a great leader. Audie was born on June 20th of 1925 in Kingston, Texas. Josie Bell, his mother, and Emmett Barry Murphy, his father, were poor sharecroppers who made a below-average living by farming and selling cotton. Now, this was a big family. Audie was the seventh of 12 children, so you can only imagine that being a below-average income, and at this time of the years, it was hard for them to survive. Well, in 1939, Audie dropped out of school due to he wanted to help provide for his family. It wasn't but a year after that his father up and left the family, leaving all responsibilities to his mother. With having such a heavy burden of raising and providing for 12 children, Audie's mother died just a year after the abandonment of his father. This took a major toll on Audie, and he knew that he had to do something so that he could help his other siblings and have something in remembrance of his mother. With the help of his sister Connie, Audie had his birth certificate forged so that he would be 18 and eligible to enlist in the United States Army. You remember, at this time, he was 17, and to be eligible to enlist in the Army, you had to be 18. But in 1942, Audie was inducted into the Army, where he soon would go off to fight in World War II and start the legacy and why he became a great leader. During World War II, there was a battle that ensued. When Audie returned home, he made a documentary as well as a movie called To Hell and Back. To Hell and Back was a documentary that provided the experience of what he endured during this battle, which I will tell you about. Audie, who was the commander of a company which consisted of 40 men, were ordered to hold a vital roadway until reinforcements had arrived. While they were soon overran by 250 soldiers and 6 tanks, though. Knowing they stood no chance against such a large force, Audie ordered his men to return to pre-prepared defensive positions in a nearby tree line. Audie remained at his post and used a field telephone to call in artillery strikes. During the strike, he ran to a nearby tank which had gas in it and was on fire due to being hit by a German tank. On top of the tank was a 50 cal machine gun, which was still intact, surprisingly. He laid down fire as well as kept calling in artillery strikes to hold off the wave of Nazi soldiers and tanks. Despite the massive amount of artillery strikes and Audie firing the machine gun, fresh waves of Nazi soldiers kept coming. At one point, the Nazi soldiers got close enough to fire small arms weapons at him and the tank, which resulted in razor-sharp shrapnel going into his legs from the ricochets of the bullets taking damage, or the tank taking damage. Although wounded, he kept on firing until he completely ran out of ammo, and then he was forced to retreat himself. After reaching his men, Audie rallied and motivated his men in a counterattack which drove the Germans back and, all in all, accomplished the mission. Due to his actions from this battle, it can be clearly seen that he displayed a high level of character. According to Zinger and Falkman's list of character, Audie displayed high integrity and honesty to his men. He promised his men that they would return home safely, and by his actions during the battle, he followed through with that promise. Audie also modeled the core values that are set by the Army, which can be seen in the acronym LDR-SHIP, which stands for leadership, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Audie Murphy led by example during this battle by never backing down and never giving up. So that brings me to another behavior that can be seen through this battle for Audie, and that is of focusing on results. By aggressively pursuing and holding the vital roadway until reinforcements arrived, he got his results. I mean, he went out there, he did what he had to do, and he accomplished the task, which all in all was part of the success of World War II. By being so aggressive in this battle, he held off multiple waves of German soldiers and did it majority of the time by himself. He did have the help of his men in the end, but he took that courage and he mustered the strength up to keep on going, knowing that he wanted to succeed and get the results that his commanders above him wanted him to get. In positional power, we see there are three main bases known as legitimate, reward, and coercive power. In this battle, Audie displayed legitimate power by being the commander and having the authority to order the men to retreat when they became overran by the German soldiers. By staying and fighting the waves of soldiers by himself, he influenced the men to fight, and because of that, they were willing to comply when he ordered the counterattack. So you can see that he had legitimate power. They knew he was the commander, and when he said something, they were willing to follow because of how he displayed himself. As far as personal power, under personal power there is a power known as expert power, which is seen through a person's special knowledge, experience, or skills relating to the work subordinates must perform. Before the battle that ensued, Audie had been a part of the invasion of Sicily, where he showed his knowledge and capabilities as a soldier. During Operation Dragoon, which was in southern France, Audie's best friend Laddie Tipton was lured out by a German soldier who was pretending to surrender. When he went out, he was killed by the Germans, and Audie was so enraged that he charged and killed the Germans who were at fault for his friend's death. With displaying so much courage to that, he was awarded this Distinguished Service Cross, which is a very unique and very not given out much, and so it makes him, once again, highly decorated. These two events show that he was well experienced and could perform the task that he needed his own men to perform and the task that he asked his men to perform. As far as the effectiveness of his leadership, when it comes to how good or bad Audie's leadership was, we could see that he was very effective in leading the men through each battle they faced. Ways he did good was by accomplishing multiple missions, saved hundreds of soldiers' lives, and in all, it resulted in part of success of World War II. However, it can be seen that the bad ways he led, where he could have lost his own life, his men as well could have lost their lives, and he took the chance of his followers seeing him as overly confident or possibly arrogant. The memory of Audie Murphy and how great his leadership was continues to live today. The Sergeant Audie Murphy Club was founded at Fort Hood, Texas, and is now today Army-wide. The requirements to be a part of this prestigious club is that a soldier must obtain the rank of non-commissioned officer, which is E5 or above, sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, so on. And they must exemplify leadership characterized by personal concern for the needs, training, development, and welfare of soldiers and concern for families of soldiers. One member of this club, this prestigious club, is Staff Sergeant James Compton, who was quoted saying, "For the most part, it takes a lot of willpower. You have to want to become a great leader in the first place to even attempt to get in the selection process of becoming Audie Leon Murphy." So as you can see, Audie Murphy was such a great leader that a club has been organized in his memory, and only those who exemplify the qualities that Audie himself showed can be inducted into this club. In closing, today I've explained why and how Audie Leon Murphy is and should be considered a great leader. Take it from a great leader himself, and remember, you lead from the front. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.